probably
young man. Like, you call me whatever you want, Aogami. You're fucking dope. You're super cool. God damn, he's great.
Look at that hair, though, man.
Yeah.
That hair is one full generation of graphical power past everything else in the game.
Yeah. I'm down with the Proto Fiend. Nabohino is a Nahobino. It's a weird word to say. It's just anything with a bean in it is just gonna come across weird coming out of our lips. I don't know. This game is a joy.
No more like Nabo Himbo.
I mean, he can be a himbo if you want him to be, but we don't. He's not emotive enough to put any of that on him.
Really isn't. Like, startlingly blank, even for an SMT protagonist.
Insert your own everything.
You wish.
Yeah, no, I know. Anyways, the game is a joy to play. It's very fun. It's really, really cool, and I enjoy. I enjoy the places where you feel as if you talked about it a little earlier, but like it's where you would think a Persona game might pull some punches, and in this case, it doesn't. Although, admittedly, like. Not spoiler, but just full disclosure, you're like, you leave the school and you never go back again. And I'm like, until you go back.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far. To be fair, I was like 12 hours in and I hadn't gone back yet.
Yeah, I'm in the 20s somewhere. And,
okay.
And yeah, no, you do. But it's interesting because I have a thing I bring up a lot of the time with the over forgiveness, right, of like heinous acts in games like this sometimes, or in anime, or in stuff where it's just like, it's okay no matter what you did. At the end, if you feel bad about it and you have a tragic backstory, we can play the Naruto swing song, and then everyone's gonna call you the coolest guy.
And then your dog's gonna ask you if you're a war criminal, and you're just gonna stare at her and emotionally neglect her mother. It'll be fine.
Something like that. But in this case, like there's a scene that like there's stuff that kind of plays out in a way where you're like, okay, you're feeling bad for someone, let's just say that, like, it does its take on, like, how about this? If you're interested in zero spoilers for, like,
what the fuck are you talking about? Just fucking say words.
I know. I'm giving everyone an opt-out if they want to tap out and not hear anything about SMT5. So I'm going to start talking about it now. You're
going to kill God. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
I'm talking about specifics. I'd rather give the choice than not at all. Anyways, so the game deals with bullying, and Persona deals with bullying in its own ways, as we see, and you kind of figure out what to do there. In SMT5's case with bullying, it's like there's a girl who's getting bullied because shitty, stupid kids are stupid and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So in a very like Kamen Rider Monster of the Week kind of way, given to the power of demons and evil, and now you can get revenge on your bullies, right?
Sick.
Awesome. First order of business: murder the fuck out of those bullies. And it's like, whoa.
Kill them.
Whoa.
Kill them.
Like, bullying is bad. Homicide is worse. That's bad.
They're never going to bully anyone again.
Yeah, so, like, fucking offed, And I was like, okay. We're not even doing the, like, mental prison or, like, oh, they're unconscious. Like,
those Persona plots those games would be real short.
Yeah.
If they had an SMT protagonist in them.
But that's it, right? So like, they just get fucking homicided. And I was like, okay. And before that, there's like the discussion where it's like, okay, so we try to save this girl, we have to beat the demon, but what if we have to get them both? What do we do? And then that goes down, and then fucking Proto Fiend is like, so just you're going about your daily, you're doing your missions and you're saving the day, and Proto Fiend is like, hey, so that girl like murdered the fuck out of those students, and I know you want to save her because of friendship and stuff, but is that really the right move? Considering, you know, like the big death, and you have to pick your answer, and I'm like, yeah, that's an order or chaos choice. I'll take that because holy fuck. Right?
Yeah, I
you asked me. He asked me exactly what I was thinking as I'm going about the mission. Like, should we really try to save this person? He goes, hey, is that okay? And I was like, thank you for acknowledging that, Aogami. You know,
it's fascinating because I got like I keep saying about 12, 13 hours in, and I didn't feel like the chaos law thing was surfacing much at all. The only time I felt like it did was the argument between Leanne Shide and Apsaras.
Yes.
Where that's the classic, do you want to rise to your own strength or
that's the first one.
Be subservient to somebody else.
Yeah.
Usually it's like every single time somebody talks to you, you go, you kill him, or I'd like to find out more. And one of those is law or chaos.
So it seems like every large zone of the game is going to have one of those. Pick an order or a demon. Or an order or a chaos demon, pick their side and eliminate the other one, type of thing. So it seems like that's going to be like a repeating bit. But a couple of questions pop up that are like, hey, which way you going on this? How do you feel about this? You know? And my understanding is also, and this is just like helpful to know, is that like they're in there, but also don't sweat too hard about it because it's not doing the SMT4 thing. Where
it's not?
No, because SMT4 like required you to like if you're trying to get like, your true neutral, for example. Sometimes
SMT4 tracked every single fucking thing you did
and ping ponged you aggressively if you tried to stay in the middle
with a +1 or a +2.
And it was pretty rough for trying to get the results you wanted. So my understanding
I want to raise my hand and point out just how bad the SMT4 system was, because there was a pivotal choice at the 70% mark of that game that asked you if you were wanted to be law or chaos, and the meter was if you were at +8 or -8 you would jump into one or the other, and if you were in that 16-point range in the middle you would be true neutral, right? And the choice you made gave 8 points, so that if you came to that conclusion with 0, you would choose either decision and end up on opposite ends of the spectrum and could not be neutral, even though you came in at a perfect neutral number, which is what happened to me. I somehow came into 0 and was like, oh, I picked law and now I'm stuck in the law thing. Oh, okay, I'll back out and do chaos.
You're too neutral.
Chaos and ended up in the... I'm like, this is bullshit!
Yeah, that sucked. And especially considering like the neutral ending is like obviously the best one. That was... so that, it seems like this time around, there is a somewhat like I think there's like a spinning icon indicator that'll let you know a bit of where your alignment is. But for the most part, even though answering questions does actually get tracked in that way, for your ultimate outcomes, you will be able to just decide in terms of endings. Yeah, this
finally gave up on this stupid shit.
The system is in there, but you can pick which ending you're going for based on what you want. So that's nice to know. So with that, play real, answer true, and be honest. You know, you don't have to fucking dance with your ups and downs.
So I can just do every chaos action the whole game like I was going to.
Oh yeah, I'm going chaos, but I'm not doing every chaos. I'm doing the chaoses that I agree with, and
dude. Like, I don't know about you, but like the chaos law thing in SMT has always been like the law outcomes are just so much more nightmarish than the chaos outcomes.
And the enforcers of the laws are all stuffy and shit. You're talking to these angels and they're like, yes, we need a boring world of God. This is
like, oh yeah, I'm talking to Raphael, and he's like, oh, God's law and everything perfect. And then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, well, who am I going to talk to on the fucking chaos side? And you got Belphegor sitting on the toilet next to Mara the penis chariot, going, why don't we burn it all down? And you're like, okay, well, I know who I'm going to hang out.
You know, I used to really hate the Soul Calibur 4 ending, and with time, I think I've grown to appreciate its message, which is like, if you let the Soul Edge win, it just engulfs the world and burns everything and destroys it all because chaos. But if you let the Soul Calibur win, it just freezes the world and preserves it, because if nothing moves, then nothing can be evil or sin.
Right, yeah.
So just freeze everything forever, you know? And it's like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I think that works as an idea. Fuck that. Anyway, so you have these choices playing out, and you get to pick and choose how you want to go about it, and that's really great. Demon management is, you know, as it is, it's fun. As you
great.
You can micromanage with essences, even though
Your reverse demon compendium is incredible.
So I mean, the demon the fusing system in 4 was great, because they figured out how to like just smooth it over.
And now the part where you were picking out, like, I want this that has this was excellent.
Now it's smoothed out in ways I didn't even like know that I wanted, which is like, you can choose between grabbing two things and sticking them together, grabbing the result that you look for of the things you're holding, or just grabbing the results of anything you own in the compendium with anything else you own, and then paying the money to automatically summon and fuse both.
Reverse Demon Compendium solves the single biggest... So the single biggest problem in SMT was always, I want to pick my fucking skulls, god damn it. And then they solved that back in 4 or
4
or Golden or whatever.
Yeah, 4.
Right? And I'm like, okay, I can pick my skills, great. And now the second biggest thing is like, okay, wait, I need a demon that's like strong to physical. Do I have that's like a do I have that? Fuck. Okay, well, if I go to and then you would start fusing you would try and fuse everything, and you're like, here it's just like, here's the list of everything you could possibly make.
Yeah. And some people go as hardcore.
That one. There it is. There, Ibn Atara. That's the one.
Some people go as hard as to like memorize the rankings and then like know that this arcana plus this arcana equals this, and I'm like, fuck, I will never be able to do that. But making it safe and just showing me like, here's the cost of pre-summoning and fusing these two for the result you want is beautiful. Love that.
Also,
keep in mind that anything you power up becomes super fucking expensive, so you know, the cost goes up.
I gotta say, the thing that blows my mind the biggest is when I look at the way that they've decided to increase or decrease the power of these things, where you this demon is strong at buffs. This demon's strong at electricity. Instead of the buffs being stronger or lasting longer or the abilities doing damage, them costing less or more resources to cast is a great solution.
The MP cost.
Yeah, so like if you have a character that is like +3 to buff, like the Racunda, which is the enemy defense down, instead of costing 10, now it costs fucking 6.
Right.
That's a big goddamn deal.
You save on the MP. Something else that's really good here too is, like, for lack of a better term, builds are viable, it feels like. Because what I used to do in every other game was, like, I would just play a character that could all around. I want to have a big, powerful physical attack. I need to have all my spells to have the weaknesses ready so I can, you know, start the press turn rotation. And if I have slots for something specific, I will. You know, maybe it'll just be like a Meteorama or something. But the way the game is set up now is you can actually really pick a character that is about, like, let's say you want to debuff things, as you just mentioned. You can really, like, land a lot of those debuffs on bosses too, in a situation where previously it'd feel like, what's the point, you know?
Oh, the debuffs have always hit on these guys in SMT.
I feel as if like I would have so many whiff situations or like resistances where I'd be like, ah, fuck it, it's not worth it, right?
Debilitate's the best skill in the franchise for a reason.
Ailments. The impression I got with ailments was, you know, like let's just go for magic.
Oh, you're thinking? Okay, sorry. I didn't understand that you were talking about ailments like Confuse or Mirage or one. Yeah, no, those are more likely to hit now. If you have
not debuffs. I mean to say ailments. I mean that's the correct word. Sorry.
Yeah, ailments. Yeah,
not the kundas and the kajas. You know, the ailments. Excuse me. So, but like now they're landing. They're working, and you can see. I mean, you can see the ones that like the boss is resistant to when you scan them, but even in cases where like there's resistance, I've had a couple where it's like, oh no, it broke through anyway. You know, I was able to like handle the first major boss by getting it put to sleep a couple times and just having him miss his turns. You know, and I was like, damn,
you slept Drake, really?
Not Drake.
Oh, Drake! You don't count Drake as the first major boss?
I was thinking of Orochi.
Oh, okay. I think we're talking about the same boss.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hydra.
Yes.
Hydra.
Okay,
we both got it wrong.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, that was dumb. All right.
The type is Drake. Hydra's the name. Okay.
Hydra. Yes, I slept Hydra multiple times.
Oh, good.
And then like I'm like, oh, I'm on my third guy. Let me just guard, not wake him up. And he slept through both of his turns, and then came back to me. Excellent. And I was like, let's fucking go. Start the rhythm again. You know. Mm-hmm. So that was the moment where I kind of went like, all right, like. We can put builds together that are gonna, you know, be this or that or whatever. Second thing is, you get essences throughout the game, which are like, hey, what do you want to give a specific skill to a specific demon in your pocket? Yeah. Spend an essence card and do that. But then
what if you wanted to demon fuse yourself?
So then you give yourself some stuff, right, which is good. But you pick up Proto-Fiend cards, Aogami cards, which are type 1s, 2, 3, etc. And they have unique skills for the protagonist, which are pretty awesome that you don't want to miss, mind you.
Yeah.
So don't accidentally change your alignment or waste them on anything without taking those good skills.
Let me ask you a question. Strength or mag?
So mag.
Mag this time. Okay.
But the thing is that like even though I'm going like heavy magic, because I just want to be able to start the press turn and keep it going, right? Like to me, that like if the enemy gets 2 turns, like we're at par for the amount of turns I want in the battle before like I kill them. Otherwise, like we're going for 0, right? So, but here's the thing is like if you give yourself some of those Proto-Fiend abilities, like Aramasa, or there's this really cool I forgot what it's called, but it's an almighty one where you just like, it's a unique animation. You pull like your claws out and do like a giant uppercut, and it'll do fuck tons of damage anyways, even with my magic build. So you can work in like whatever approach you want and be relative, and like it'll be okay. You like
I have a mostly strength based
Sakanagi. That's it.
Proto-Fiend, and Aramasa does like fucking busted shit.
Okay. Yeah.
But if I need to cast Zeo or anything like that, like it works. But the way that I built my Proto-Fiend was as a physical attacker that has the absolutely mandatory debuffs.
Okay.
So Rakunda.
Interesting. Okay.
As the one, and then I'll throw on like Meteorama or like Recarm on him when I can.
I play as magic because like if someone in my team happens to be missing one of the necessary weaknesses or something, then it's like I'll cover for that, you know, and that's the balance.
So if you cast Aramasa with decent luck, like you're gonna crit.
Oh yeah,
because each hit's unique, and all you need is a single one.
Well, I'm sure if you fucking then do the Magatsuhi critical, and then you get every slash a guaranteed. Like that thing is so busted strong.
Yeah, and then the enemies get it, and you're like, God damn it.
So I haven't had that yet, right?
Oh man, it's real bad.
I've been lucky enough that I've seen them charging, and I've just like killed, you know.
Oh, it's real bad.
So it seems, yeah, I've heard that's a thing, but I don't even want to use the other ones yet, and I'm gonna do some experimenting to find out. But there's stuff that you get that you can spend the full meter on, which is like if you kill on this turn, you get a big boost to XP and Maca, right? Or like everything costs 1 for a turn. And I'm like, yeah, that's all cool, but nothing is better than everything is guaranteed critical. Like,
yeah, you get 8 turns.
You get 8 turns of melting damage against whatever you're fighting, you know? So it's like whatever other versions you want are there, but like as far as I'm concerned, I'm just like, okay, run that shit, and then on the last turn, if you saw the enemy start charging, then it's like, all right, what do we got? We got a dampener. What's your biggest elemental ability? Dampen that shit. And literally, by the way, you will have to do this to survive against some bosses, because there will be some bosses that are like, I'm gonna do a force spell that will just murder your entire team, and if you don't dampen it, you're out. You know? So you have to pay attention to that.
Did you get the fucking DLC for Demi-Fiend?
I don't think so.
It's an extra. It's a $12 thing.
That
adds all the old feet. So I picked it up, and it adds all the old Fiend bosses into the game.
Oh, okay.
And Matador shows up next to the first save point.
Huh, as an optional boss.
Goes, sup. And then you go to fight him, and he's like 20 levels higher than you, and Mazonga's your whole fucking team in a single shot.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, okay, you're for later.
Okay, cool. There's already a bunch of that in the game. That's definitely
it's wild.
That's a later thing. And then I came back to it like that first big stone guy. I came back to him hours later, and it's like, nah, bro. You see that? His moves are dines. He's got dines on the ends of his moves. You're not ready for that.
That dude is so fucking hilarious, because like Aogami tells you, stay away from that dude. He'll kill you. And I'm like, I fought stronger field enemies and RPGs. Oh my fucking god, I'm doing 1 damage.
Now the problem is, as someone with some gaps in my SMT knowledge, like are those DLC references just gonna fly right over my head?
They're straight up Nocturne everything.
Well, that's unfortunately.
You fought some of them in
Rido.
You fought some fiends in Rido.
Well, I look. I know, for example, who Matador is, but the Nocturne introduction of him, I didn't see. But I know
in Rido you fought
Matador.
Red Fiend and Pale Rider.
Yeah. I know what those demons are. I've seen them. I just don't have the like Nocturne specific thing. So it's like, even if you're getting a big pop off moment, for me it would just be a reference I haven't seen yet. So, anyway. That stuff is really fun. Don't waste your don't waste your Aogami cards, folks. Those unique abilities are great. And
make sure you get every fucking skill of goddamn note off those cards for your guy. You're not gonna get another. You're not gonna get another Aramasa.
Well, so I accidentally on the second one where it's just like it was a healing item, and I used it to just return my affinities to the normal ones I wanted, because I switched affinities for a boss, you know. And that's a thing too, where it's like, okay, well, you can switch affinities if you want to build up a certain resistance, but just realize you're going to spend money on it. But you know, just keep in mind that your essences are going to be limited. I'm
seeing a lot of folks saying, don't waste your gospels. I don't even know what that fucking is.
Oh, I burned all my gospels.
What are they?
Oh, they're free level ups. For the Nahobino.
Oh,
you have grimoires, which are free level ups for your demons.
Yeah, I've been using those.
As long as they're under you, and then there's Gospels, which are free level ups for you personally.
Yeah, for the Gospels at the very, I think I used all the ones that I got, but what I did is that I would only use them when I was like 1 XP over a new level.
Yeah, that's the best time if you want to min-max it. I'm under the assumption that later levels take so long that you're gonna wanna, save it for those situations. But personally, I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm 2 levels away from a demon I really want to be rolling with. I'm gonna pop them for that demon and get it. And I'm enjoying the game that way.
Wait a second. That's a high value consumable item.
Yes.
And I didn't think to save it for later. That's weird.
Did you get any Gospels?
Yeah, I got a ton of them.
Oh.
I just waited till I was at a new level, because you're not going to use it with 30% of the level to go. That's an obvious waste.
Oh, there you go. Growth.
Maybe.
Growth. Maybe this is a healthy exercise.
I have not been using many of the dampeners though, but I'm sure I will run into something that demands it.
You will. I promise you will. And what's better than dampeners is giving the ability to one of your demons. I walked into a fucking King Frost fight and just had a Jack Frost with me who was like, fuck ice attacks. It's going to cost a lot of MP. It's going to cost like 40 MP, but fuck ice attacks. And it's like, oh, this fight is over. I'm going to just wail and keep you dampened and nothing is going to happen, That
reminds me. There's something I got to talk about when you're done about this that I forgot about.
Okay. Well, anyway, so Gospels, yeah, that I mean, I'm sure later on it's going to be helpful, but I the way I enjoy these games is I want the demon I want now, and I'm going to get him because I don't want to wait. So I'm spending it. So fuck off. But no, and that's been good. The glory system as well is
it's fun.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I was wondering where a bunch of stuff was, where I'm like, wait, I can't use items with my demons. I can't do this or that. And it's like,
how come I can only transfer 4 fucking skills?
And it's because you have to unlock all of that with glory.
The only problem I have with glory is that it's like, man, there are some fucking winners that are so much better than all the other ones. Step 1, increase the size of the demons you can carry with you at one time.
Yeah.
Step 2, increase the amount of skills you and your team can use at one time.
Yes, exactly. God, what was it? There was one early on that was like, it cost like 150. And I'm like, I am absolutely saving up for this.
Is it when your bar is full, you
heal,
regain MP and heal?
Yeah. And like,
yeah,
are you fucking kidding me? Of course I'm saving up for that.
That fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
It
was ridiculous.
The biggest difference roaming around
in the world. Yeah. So that's fantastic as well. I'm running around every corner trying to find those little guys. And I legitimately I like Gustav and the Cadaverous Hollow.
He's fun.
The shop is dope, and also it's my favorite song in the game so far.
Really?
Yeah, the Cadaverous Hollow theme is stuck in my fucking head, dude. It's great. I don't know. Continuing, of course, a tradition of making you feel like shit every time you shop because you just feel like these shopkeepers are assholes. They feel like they're bilking you, But here's the thing. It ain't all roses. Because those roses are poorly animated and drop frames, especially at a distance. This is a Switch game.
No, it's not. This is a fucking PlayStation or Xbox game that they put on the Switch.
This feels like a Switch game. The fucking environment you run around in on the overworld is chugging. The textures of every time you look at a demon for the first time, it pops in without a texture, and it takes a second, and then the rest of it appears. It's wild. The there's a draw distance effect where, not a draw distance, but it's like it's that thing with the Switch where it's like at a distance, if you see, for example, your little navigator buddy finds something and she flies far away from you, she drops to 2 frames per second.
So that's not a Switch thing. A lot of engines do that in the From Software games. It's called omission mode.
Okay, yeah.
And it's once it gets a certain radius from the player, things don't animate at the same speed to save on resources. But the one in SMT5 is really aggressive. Like, you can clearly see shit 10 feet away from you going, at 5 frames a second.
She's like straight up, like she's right over there, like 5 or 4 steps, and you see her like just like gritzing into fucking low frame mode. And you know what?
If it was any farther away, that game would now run at 14 frames a second.
Sure. You run around corners of the environment that are just awkward collision, bad footing. You're like, can I walk there? Am I supposed to? Maybe. Inconsistent boundaries on cliff sides, because some cliffs are meant to be jumped off of and others are not. Doesn't matter because there's fall damage and you can get back wherever you were going. But literally, you just never know if that awkward cliffside is meant to be scaled or not, because there are some places where you start running up a steep hill and like he starts like freaking out, like, oh, you're too high, but there's a jump you're supposed to make over there. You know, the overworld and the collision and the frame rate are
it's a grimy mess.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Shit's rough. And
it is an Atlas game that has teleported here from the far off year of 2005 for you.
And in this world that can barely hold itself together, that's loading as you play it, you can hold a sprint button to make it worse.
Yeah.
And the sprint just lets you go. Like, you can let go of the controller and the sprint will just keep going, which is wonderful for you know.
So you're sprinting and you have speed lines and you have this
Naruto run.
It is like the weirdest confluence of technical things I've seen in a game in a while, because you're Naruto running with speed lines as you see enemies just like chug 10 feet away from you, and there's a really nice sparkle effect on the sand that actually looks pretty high end.
Yeah.
And your hair is billowing like a physics demo.
Yep.
While the frame rate just goes lower and lower and lower. And in the background, there's a guy on a guitar go, bow, ba-jow, bow. And it's like, holy fucking shit.
And then every once in a while, it might take you a minute to realize, but you hear a weird noise from whenever the moon cycles change that goes, and you know, and you're like, what is it? What is it? And it's like, oh, the moon. It's a new moon. And it's fucking weird. And you're like,
all boss themes are unique.
And you're just like, and it's like, the world is so shit. And like, we know, so we're going to give you the fastest sprint so you don't have to look at it. Just deal with the demons and shut up. It is.
You see what I meant was like this game more than the other recent SMT. This is the anti-Persona.
Yeah, no. But just like, but also because of Switch reasons, it's kind of falling apart. It's kind of falling apart. God bless that the new Demon Fusion animations. They're beautiful, and you watch them once and you're good. But they're pretty nonetheless.
Every single fucking game, every single goddamn game, you watch them and like, wow, that's a cool animation, and then you mash it through every time, and then you're mashing it through, and you're like, why is the animation skipping? And you're like, oh fuck, and then you reset because it's gonna be a goddamn fusion accident.
Yeah, exactly. Warning as well. For some reason, down on the D-pad is progression in text boxes and dialogue.
So's moving the analog stick.
Okay, so I noticed specifically down on the D-pad or the stick is progression, and a couple of times I've accidentally done that because I thought I was on a list of some kind and I wasn't. It didn't appear yet, so then you can skip through that shit. So just, when you press A to talk to somebody or when something happens,
Just fucking stop
chill.
push button.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's fucking incredible. It's so fun, and like plot wise, it's like we're fucking going, pulling
You're
no
in
punches.
the game for like 90 minutes, and Lucifer's looming on the horizon, 1,000 feet tall, going, "God is a bitch."
Yeah, and then it's like God is a bitch. He fucked off. Like he fucking lost. Yeah, it's incredible. It takes no fucking. It wastes no time getting into it, and yeah, it's just it's great so far. Just be aware of all these things that can happen to you, Anyway, SMT5.
Hey, by the way, if anybody knows how to emulate this game, definitely message me how to emulate it so that I can make sure not to do that because it's illegal.
It sure would be great if people were allowed to see SMT5, but you're not. So,
yeah.
In the meantime, here's the report on how it's going. It's going pretty good. I'm
good.
not allowed
It's
to
fun game. Good
not
game.
allowed to show you how good it is, but it's going good. I'm really liking it. Anyway, that's fantastic.